From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
We had sunshine earlier in the day on this Friday across the Tennessee Valley, but clouds have really thickened up across the area late this afternoon. Here's a live look at Lawrenceburg on the Arctic Air Skycam network, still coming in the mid to upper 50s across the area with a south wind currently at 6 miles per hour. 34 is the dew point, so the low-level air mass is still dry, but it will moisten up as rain moves into the area tonight. We'll check out Florence, Alabama from the University of North Alabama campus atop Rivers Hall. You can see some low-level clouds there. We actually have some light precipitation on radar. I'll show you in just a moment. 57 degrees currently with a dew point of 36 and a south wind coming in at 8 to 9 miles per hour. Switch to live Viper radar, look at temperatures and current precipitation across the area, and we have some light spotty showers now shifting across northwest Alabama into southern middle Tennessee. Not all of this is necessarily reaching the ground, however, because of the dry low-level air mass. I'm sure some of it is in the form of sprinkles and light shower activity. The rain intensity will pick up as we head in deeper into the evening and the overnight, however. Temperatures into the mid to upper 50s currently at 5 o'clock. Some areas in North Alabama snuck up into the lower 60s today for daytime highs. If you've enjoyed the spring-like weather we had across the area, that was more like late February and early March this afternoon, I hope you did enjoy it, because we're not going to see much of anything like that for at least the next 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 days across the area. You can see more solid rain back to the west near the Mississippi River, picking up in intensity and coverage. It will continue to do so as it heads eastward into the late evening and the overnight hours. Might even pick up a rumble or two of thunder, but no severe storms expected, nothing excessive. Futurecast showing some of this not necessarily reaching ground again currently or through 6 p.m., but there may be a few spotty showers and sprinkles out there. But as we get into the mid to late evening and rain gets heavier, that won't be the case. We will see some downpours at times, maybe a stray rumble of thunder, but again, no severe storms expected. Dropping into the 40s overnight, so none of this expected to be wintry either. We'll actually get up into the mid to upper 50s to lower 60s across the area ahead of our Arctic cold front as we head through tomorrow. The Futurecast model has that moving into the region by midday. I will caution, however, that the past few times we've had these Arctic fronts moving in so far this winter, the models have been up to 6 hours too fast with them. And when you talk about computer modeling, 6-hour difference isn't really a big deal in terms of verification stats, but when you're trying to exactly time out temperatures during the day, yes, it can be a difference. So we are expecting mid to upper 50s to lower 60s tomorrow, but at some point in the afternoon, that Arctic front moves into the area and drops us out of the 50s and 60s into the 40s and maybe even the 30s before sunset. We'll be heading into the 20s for overnight and maybe a few spotty flurries across the region and light snow showers Saturday night into Sunday morning. Not expecting impacts from that, although we'll watch in case there are some damp areas on the roadways that try to give some black ice Saturday night into Sunday morning. Just not expecting widespread issues, but the Arctic air settles into the area Sunday and early next week. See clouds increasing Monday night into Tuesday, and you see the wintry weather off to the south of us. We'll talk about that here in just a moment, but early indications are that the better chances for wintry weather next Tuesday and a Tuesday night likely to stay just south of us. We'll detail that here in just a moment. Temperature trend here for the next 7 days. We're going to be warm again tomorrow ahead of that front, but there will be rain showers around. And then the best we can do Sunday, right around 32 degrees for a daytime high, 20s for daytime highs Monday and Tuesday, after starting in the lower teens with single-digit wind chills Monday and Tuesday. We do moderate the temperature, still cold, but a more manageable type of cold as we hit Wednesday and especially Thursday and Friday of next week. But Monday and Tuesday especially, when we're going to have highs in the 20s, lows well down into the teens or flirting with the upper single digits, and then single-digit wind chills, if not colder than that. You're really going to have to think about prep for the cold weather. Check on friends and relatives that may need help keeping their houses warm. make sure they're doing okay and they have everything they need. If you have to be outside, dress warmly in layers. Also, bring the pets inside. Make sure livestock has adequate shelter, food, and fresh water that you'll have to check every so often to make sure it doesn't freeze over. Be sure to drip the faucets, and Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and maybe a situation where instead of a drip, it needs to be a light trickle. Wrap the pipes if they are exposed to the wind outside. Be sure to think about fire safety with your electric space heaters. Make sure that they're not around anything flammable. Give a few feet of distance around your space heaters. Also think about your vehicle prep. Check the coolant levels, the battery, the tire pressure, and also make sure you have a winter kit in your car in case you do have car problems and you may be stuck on the side of the road for a little while. We're not talking about snow and things like that in terms of travel, but if you happen to have unrelated car problems to where you're stuck on the side of the road for a while, you do want to be sure you can keep yourself warm in the event that hypothetically does happen. Now, the wintry weather chances themselves in terms of snow and ice, the models are starting to come into better agreement with how that will play out. The better chances of snow and ice accumulation likely to be the southern half of Alabama, the southern half of Mississippi back into Louisiana, south central Georgia into the southern areas of the Carolinas, maybe even skirting the Florida Panhandle. Can't rule out some snow and ice accumulation down near the Gulf Coast beaches even. North of that, the dark blue area over northern Alabama, skirting southern Middle Tennessee, not as likely. Chances are much, much lower for wintry precipitation in here Tuesday and Tuesday night. But the reason why we're still watching that is sometimes these storm systems trend a little northward as we get closer. And with the really cold air in place, it takes less moisture to squeeze out a little bit of snow. So although it's not likely in the darker blue areas, we will still have to watch trends in case there is a northward shift in this. And we will be doing that here as we go through the weekend, and we will have forecast updates. But for now, I think the higher chances are off to the south of us. Morning rain tapers off in the midday and afternoon showers, and then the Arctic air front comes into the area tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then we're downright cold here from Sunday, especially early next week, all the way through a large part of next week. Again, we'll watch Tuesday, but I think the winter storm chances higher off to the south of the Tennessee Valley. And then we do moderate the temperatures a little bit as we head toward the end of next week. There's Luke latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.